Thousands of years ago, before words, before names, and before even the sky could be seen, humans lived in a world swallowed by nature. The trees were giants. The plants rose like walls. It was so tall that they couldn't see the sky. Humans could not speak words, but they were not silent. They had telepathy. They could communicate with each other without speaking, and they used that to pass information. If they needed something, all they had to do was to pass through each other's thoughts and ask. Humans had no lies, no misunderstanding, just pure thoughts. Until one day, the sky broke. A sound louder than thunder shook the ground. And then something appeared like a mountain. It was covered in gold beams, breathing smoke and fire. It was a spaceship. It descended from heaven, and from it came tall, massive reptilian beings. It was nothing the earth had seen before. They looked at the people and declared, "We are gods." And the humans, who had never heard a voice out loud before, felt fear for the first time. The beings said they had come to teach them and make them gods too. They took the humans, who existed as one unified form, and led them into two caves, one red and green. "Enter," they said. Those who walked into the red cave came out male, and those who entered the green came out female. And for the first time, humans saw difference. Their bodies changed, and their forms separated. They were astonished because the males had something like snake between their legs, and the women had bosoms. It was strange and frightening. And because they had never understood each other, they began to fight. The reptilians were laughing at them. Confusion, especially their ruler, Lord King Umbaba, also called the Sky God. He was cruel and watched with amazement. After this came another gift, which was the gift of words. The reptilian beings taught humans language, but something went wrong. Because now, when one person speaks, another misunderstood. Thoughts that were once clear, now words created doubt, suspicion, and even conflict. Now, so the fighting grew worse. While humans struggled to understand each other, the gods gave them work. They forced them to mine the earth for gold, tin, and precious stones. That was the real reason they had come. Not to uplift humanity, but to use them. Days turned into years. Humans labored until the queen began noticing the humans. She saw their confusion and felt their pain. One day, she reached out to one of them and gave him a new secret. She taught them love, to connect, touch, and desire each other's bodies. And for the first time, humans chose each other over labor. They stopped working and stayed together to explore the new feeling that made them forget everything else. And so the king was furious and spoke to the queen. "This is not why we're here," he said. "They are becoming useless." So the queen changed the lesson and devised a new plan to teach them creation. She taught them how to get pregnant, and suddenly humans returned to work. Not for the king, but for survival. However, something had changed. They were no longer blind. They began to see the truth, that they were being used, controlled, and enslaved. And from that realization, rebellion was born. A human rose. He had passed through the cave and came out different. He was stronger, angrier, and awake. He challenged the sky god himself, and the earth trembled once more. Their battle shook the land. It was man against God. And in the chaos, Umbaba put the human and with his claw made a terrible nose through its nose into the brain and sucked the brain. And the funny thing about it, till this day, skulls are seen with holes straight into the brain. It is believed that these reptilian gods sucked human brains and feasted on them for their own pleasure.